What's up, guys? It's the periodic table guy, and I'm here to talk to you today about helium. Helium is the second lightest element. Its symbol is capital H, lowercase e. Helium is an interesting noble gas. Its atomic weight is 4.002602. It's in group number 18. Its atomic number 2. As I said before, the group name is a noble gas. It's in period 1. Energy levels, it only has 1 since it's on the top row. Valence electrons, it has 2. Bonding types, it's a non-reactive because the outer shell is full. So the outer shell on that first energy level is full. Other elements that are in its family are neon, krypton, xenon, radon, and argon. These are all noble gases. Neon we will cover as number 10, krypton as 30, argon as 19, if I'm not mistaken, xenon as 56, and radon as 86. And if I'm wrong, please leave a comment, but I believe I'm right. Classification, it is a non-metal. It's a gas. The standard state at room temperature of helium is gas. It's a colorless element. Its boiling point is negative 451.48 degrees Fahrenheit. For you people in the Eastern Hemisphere, it is negative 200, and Canada, it is negative 268.6 degrees Celsius. The melting point is negative 457.6 degrees Fahrenheit. In Celsius, it is negative 272.0 degrees Celsius. The density is 0.0001785. It is a very, very undense, I guess you could say, undense element. I don't think that's a word, I'm just making stuff up now. It is the most stable of the noble gases, and I believe it's the most stable of all the elements on the periodic table. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section, but I do believe that I'm right. I'm not certain though. I'm pretty confident, but there's part of me that's saying that there's probably something more stable, but I think that'd be the most stable since it's the lightest and its valence is full. Anywho, it is a natural gas. It is one of the 3 gases that was considered to be created by the Big Bang, if you believe in that. I believe in not only the holy, whatever you call it, where God created us. I don't know what God, or if you believe in God or whatever it may be, but I believe in the holy creation or whatever it is, and the Big Bang, because I don't know, I just think that they're both very realistic, and you might think that you can't have both of them, but in my opinion, I believe you can. But that's all opinionated. We don't need to get into a comment war, people, because I know that there are some people that they believe their belief is so strong that they will go and get all angry at people, and I don't want that in my comment section. I want a healthy comment section of intellectual debate other than a you're wrong, I'm right. Anywho, you might find me saying that a lot, but anywho, it is the lowest melting and boiling point of any element, and that I am certain of after I did all my research. The next closest, let me see, I believe it's hydrogen, but yeah, I believe it's hydrogen. That's the only other negative melting point and stuff. So yeah, it's the lowest melting and boiling point for Fahrenheit or Celsius. That wouldn't play an effect into it. And it was discovered by Pierce Jansen in India in 1868. Where does it come from, you might ask? Helium. Helium comes from the Greek word of helios, meaning sun. And if you didn't know, that's what the Greek people came up with, because helium, I don't know why they did that. There were some weird people in Greece that thought giving somebody a horse would conceal them. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. That's for social studies, which I might make a YouTube channel for. Anywho, as I say, anywho again. We're gonna go to my next page of notes. The uses. And this will be the final, and I'll explain something to you. Actually, yeah, I'll explain it to you later. Its uses. It's used for welding, for arc welding, in places where helium is cheaper than argon. I don't know the countries where it's cheaper. But there are a few countries where helium is more abundant. I guess I should say argon's less common, and so it's a little bit more expensive. So arc welders use it just because it's cheaper. It's a good cooling metal for, not metal, medium It's a cooling medium for nuclear reactors. It is very, it's very stable. That's the word I'm looking for. It's very stable. Therefore, it's good for a medium of, it's good as a medium for nuclear reactors. It's also a oh my gosh, I can't speak today, sorry guys. It's a protective gas for semiconductor materials. Yeah, it's big and confusing. Helium, it's big and confusing. And it makes up a lot of the world's mass. It is also a gas used for supersonic wind tunnels. I have never been into a supersonic wind tunnel. I never will. It's supersonic. That sounds painful. And the most common use for helium, besides making your voice go up really high, and that was a horrible helium impersonation. It sounded just like a giant voice crack. It's filling balloons, blimps, because it's much safer than hydrogen. Hydrogen is very flammable, and while it's the lightest and it'll get you up the fastest and the best, it's the least safe of the two. It's the least safe. Hydrogen is way more safe. Hydrogen, I don't believe, is flammable. I'm sorry, not hydrogen, helium. I believe helium's not flammable, but, you know, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before in many classes, even science. And so, it's just safer. And I tried explaining in the last video why hot air balloons, when they're filled with hydrogen or helium, why they float. Why do they float? Okay, so imagine oxygen weighing 100 pounds and helium weighing 50 pounds. And you put them into a tank. And you color helium as green. So if you're in a classroom, you might want to write this down on a whiteboard. Draw like a square and put a horizontal line right at the middle. Color the top half one color and the bottom half another color. If you're colorblind, just only color one half. And imagine them being intertwined at first. But once they like mix with each other, besides making water, which is what hydrogen and oxygen would do, it like separates. It's like oil and water. If you put oil in water or petroleum in water, the oil/petroleum is going to float on the water. There's stuff that sinks based on its buoyancy. Basically, helium's quote-unquote buoyancy is less. It's less than oxygen. Less would make it float. I don't know how else to explain it to you. I mean, it's oil and water. Oil goes up, water goes down. That's just how it is. I'm sorry if you can hear occasional typing. My computer screensaver comes up. I need to change that. And even though you can't see me, I'm using a lot of gesticulations as I talk. So just That's why you might hear occasional tapping, because I might hit something being occasionally clumsy. Now I'm getting sidetracked, and this video has been over 10 minutes long. Man, the time flies when you're learning science. Alright, so helium. It's light, not the lightest, but it's light. It floats above oxygen. That's why helium balloons, when you were a kid, or since you are a kid now trying to learn about helium, I'm sure you had a balloon and you filled it up with helium. And if you didn't, you had no childhood. I'm sorry. But if you had a balloon and you filled it with helium, okay, maybe you did have a childhood, just not as fun of one as, well, I guess when you lost your helium-filled balloon, you got upset because it flew away and you could never get it back. Anywho, if you fill a balloon with helium and you let it go, it's lighter than oxygen, so away it will sail until it gets out of this atmosphere, and then it'll just float around until it'll pop, which I believe space, I don't want to say air because it doesn't have air, the space, I don't know how to explain it, the space something, the stuff out in space, just the nothingness, it's just going to make it pop. So if you fill a balloon with helium, it's going to float until it gets to the atmosphere, out of the atmosphere, and then pop goes the weasel, and no more balloon. So, yes. This was my video about helium. If you have any questions or would like any help studying, even though I'm just a kid, I might know a little bit more than you would think, and I can help you study. Who knows, I might help you out on that test and you'll get a 93 instead of an 81 because there's a part on helium and or hydrogen, which I've already covered, and possibly lithium, which will be my next video, which I'm going to make as soon as I'm done uploading this one, which might be tomorrow, which might be today. I don't know. Just leave a comment asking any questions. If you're a teacher and all your students have the same question, leave it in the comments. I will reply within a week, I guess you could say, and I will answer them and I will help your students learn. So click the like button below if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you think I'm a benefit to you and if you're a teacher to your students. Thank you. Have a nice day. Get ready for lithium next week. Not next week, I'm sorry. Get ready for lithium. I already have my notes done. It's an interesting element. It's the first gas that we're going to be learning about. So it's a metal. Get ready for it. It's coming at you. And it's actually got an interesting quality to it. You want to know what that is? Watch the video. I know I already said thank you and have a nice day, but I'll say it again. So thank you. Have a nice day.